Welcome, everyone, to a special edition of Kiwi Talks. I am speaking to the iconic voice actor of Frieza from Dragonball Z. Although she is not just known for that, she's been in a number of other anime roles. I'd like to welcome Linda Young. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
How's everything been for you with work in terms of everything that's going on with the whole COVID-19 crisis?
I've missed not doing any recordings of actual voices, but since I do the cameos and the Zobies, I get to still do my characters and with little messages, because cameo is people ask for birthday messages or anniversary messages or wedding or whatever, a prank, whatever. And then with Zobi, you actually do signings of pictures, and then you give a little message. So it's still kind of
that's good
being with the fans, and without doing Comic-Cons, that's been strange, because there were several this year that just didn't happen. One did happen in Florida, but I just didn't feel comfortable going. So I'm going to go next year to that one.
Yeah. When was that? Was that in June? Was it?
August.
Right.
In August. Uh-huh.
Yeah. It is a crazy time. But I'm glad that you still have stuff to do. Do you have an agent? Do you have an agent, or because you work directly for Funimation, don't you?
Yes. I have an agent that I do other things like TV commercials and that kind of thing. But since I was already doing the anime, she kind of just, if someone comes directly to her to ask me to do something, then I do it with her. But if it's something where Funimation just calls me, or a Comic-Con or something, then I have a couple different agents for Comic-Cons, actually.
Oh, wow. Do you lose track of which agent does which?
Well, the Comic-Con agents, you can have more than one. Agent in Dallas, like for sending you out on auditions and sending you, getting you booked for things. You can only have one agent that way. So doing the Comic-Cons, I was like, what? You have agents for it? At first, I didn't even know, because I just had gone directly to my first one. Somebody contacted me. And I hadn't done Comic-Cons. I don't know, I was a little scared to go by myself. And then once I did one, and it was the first one I did, which was Animazement, and Mr. Nakayo, Japanese Frieza, was there.
Yep.
And we had so much fun, and we got to be such friends. And I'll go to that one quite often. But that was the first one I went to, and it was such a good experience. Then I started saying yes to others. And my son is John Bergmeyer, who also...
And he works for Funimation as well.
Yes. Yeah. And he sometimes goes to cons with me now. So that's fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Mother and son bonding time.
Yes, it is. It's really fun. I like that.
So was it overwhelming for you, the first Comic-Con you did? I mean, because they are on a whole other level, the fans there.
They are, but it wasn't, because all the people were so nice that it was really a nice experience. And they had it so prepared where they took you to everything you had to be at. They escorted you. They had everything prepared. So it was wonderful. In fact, the first one was like a spoiling one. The other ones sometimes don't add up to that one.
Oh, right. So the first one was so good. It set such a high standard that you expected that every time.
But a lot of them are that good. It's just once in a while, they might not be. But I haven't had as bad experiences as some people. Some people have had some bad experiences. I really haven't. Not too bad.
Because they go over days, those Comic-Con events, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually 3. Sometimes 2. And now they have like one day. Like around here, they had some one-day events that I've gone to. And I might possibly do some one-day events towards the end of the year. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
But if I want to, I can.
Well, it's good to know that you have options in terms of being able to do different things, because that would be the worst, I think, is not knowing.
I know. And then I sing with bands, and one of them, we just started rehearsing again. We had an outside gig yesterday, social distancing outside. So that was nice. And because that way, I don't know, I missed the band too, That's fun.
Yeah, it's a different type of feeling compared to, say, voice acting.
Yes, it is.
Because was your dream always to be a voice actor, or did you want to do theater or film or television? What was the original goal?
Acting and singing.
Right.
Always.
Yep.
And I like all of it, really. I did voice acting, but not anime until I got that part. So I didn't even really know what anime was until I really knew what it was.
Did they know that you didn't know what anime was?
Yes.
Or did you just kind of wing it?
I think they did know that a lot of people that came to that audition didn't. They had some information out in the lobby that kind of told about it. But even reading that, it was just kind of like, what?
So what was the original pitch to you? Because I know you had to go in and you had to emulate the previous voice actor's voice.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And you did it the best, apparently, out of all the...
For Frieza, yeah.
Yeah, out of all the potential people applying for that role.
When I went to the audition, they had us listen to the voices and remember them. And then we went into a little recording booth and had to read parts, of the different characters. So you had to remember it in your head from where you listened to going into the recording booth. And so I auditioned for several. And I think Frieza, that character, was the last one I thought I'd get. But isn't that how it goes?
Yeah. The thing you think you won't get is the one you get.
Exactly. So I had no idea the things Frieza would all do, or all the yelling and screaming, all the fighting. I had no idea until I started doing it.
So what was the very first episode like when you first started voice acting for Frieza?
The first episode.
Yeah.
That was where Frieza came in the little pod thing.
Yeah, I think so. In the Ginyu saga. But
yes.
Because you just said that, like, you weren't aware of what she potentially does. Like, how was the experience? Was it difficult doing a full episode, or did you seamlessly be able to do it?
I was okay. I was fine about doing it, but they were telling me I needed to be more evil. So I had to work on that. And then I had to work on, all the fighting noises and things. They would, like Chris Sabat, he would do it for me first so I could imitate him to learn how to fight and stuff.
Right.
And to learn the different reactions. And he really taught me well, so.
Can you give me an example of something like he'd tell you to do?
If I had to go, hi-ya! Or
yeah,
I don't want to scream real loud now, but all those, or just landing like, or taking off, just all these different little that guys naturally do, right?
Yeah.
Guys, even from the time they're a kid. But so that was kind of fun learning that. That was new to me.
How long did it take you to kind of really nail it?
Well, I think I imitated pretty well. So I had that in my mind, but I think it took a little while to really get the character of my own, to add the sarcasm and the, thinking I was Frieza, like just the arrogance and almost like a spoiled brat. Frieza is really,
Yeah.
and thinking his jokes are always funny when they're not, or the meanness in it, but yet the humor. And so I guess it took a little while to get all that together, but it was fun, and they were good at directing. They were good at letting me know, what was going on, because you don't see anything beforehand, or back then you didn't see any scripts or anything, so you just go in, and sometimes I'd look at that screen and I couldn't tell what was going on. I couldn't tell.
Really? Okay, so they get you in a room, because this is what I thought they did, is they'd get you in a room and there'd be the director or whoever, the audio engineer or person giving you direction on what to do, and then you've got a visual of the image, and then you have to try and sync up your vocals with when they're talking. Is that right?
Yes. And at first, we really had to sync them good, because they didn't have the equipment they have now. They can move it back and forth a little. But you had to really be almost dead on when I first started. And you would just see this scene, but, a picture. But sometimes I didn't know, like, what was going to happen, if he's going to blow something up, or what was going to happen. Or when you're fighting, it's just like, what are they doing? What are they?
Because how long would the visual shots be? Like, if you're doing a specific scene, would it be a 20-second scene or a 1-minute scene?
There were like different. A lot of times they take it at a line at a time.
Oh, right.
And when they first started, and like a lot of Frieza's lines are really long, so I didn't mind. I liked it, but you hear these little beeps, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you come in. And then you just try to time it right with the flaps. And then they'll stop it. And then you'll go to the next one or the next one. And sometimes if they're real short, you'll do a few at a time. You'll just listen to the beeps in between and start again. And when there was a real long battle cry you had to hold on to, you could watch the bottom of the screen and see how many seconds you had to hold it. And then you're thinking,
really?
Hurry. Do I have to really hold it? No, I can't.
Because how long would some of those lines be in terms of, like, say, when you're doing like a battle cry or the yelling or anything?
I don't.
What would be the second?
Seems like they were forever, but I don't really know how many they were.
Did you have to learn breathing techniques or anything?
Well, no, since I'm a singer.
Of course, yeah.
I didn't really have to. And since I'm a singer too, I could place that voice back in my throat and not hurt myself, Because a lot of people say, didn't that voice hurt didn't hurt your vocal cords? I got so used to doing it that it didn't. Now, sometimes when I do it now, because I don't do it all the time, I have to be careful. I have to make sure I get it placed right so I don't hurt myself, because it's such a raspy voice.
Yeah, because I would imagine if you did that too much, you would end up having a bit of a hoarse type, voice. You know how if someone's been smoking for like 50 years, they can end up with that kind of voice.
But I was fortunate I could place it, because sometimes I'd be up there for hours doing that. And I only lost my voice one time, and that was, this is funny, and I've told this story before, but it was on a day when newspapers were still in style. A news writer came to that was a small studio still, and they were going to do a story on everyone, and I was there, and it ended up being the story that I lost my voice, and it was like, the one time I lose my voice and it's in the newspaper. Sometimes they lose their voices. It's like, thanks a lot.
But were you ever starting to lose your voice ever while you were filming? Like, and if you did, would they give you, water or get you to gargle salt?
Oh,
Or,
you mean if you feel like you need? Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Feel like you need something. In fact, later on, I know a lot of people brought their own throat sprays, or sometimes they'd have different throat sprays there, or you just bring a lozenge, or water. A lot of people use different things. Water seems to help me. Once in a while, if my voice is feeling kind of funny, I'll put a big glob of honey, like towards the back of my throat, and then take hot water and wash it down. It just sort of coats my throat. I'll do
Oh,
that for
really?
singing too. Yeah, it really helps.
I need to keep that in mind in case I need to do a podcast and I sound like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll use that tip.
Because it does. It feels really good too. And you just get a glob and get it there, and then the hot water kind of washes it into your throat. And then if you have to get gook off your vocal cords, lemon water does that. I remember one time I was doing a theatrical show and I lost my voice, and I had 2 big songs to sing. And I went into my ear, nose, and throat doctor to see him, and he said, well, you don't have an infection. He says, you have a bunch of gook there. So he said, lemons and hot water. And he goes, you can put some honey in there just to make it taste good and that. But he goes, that'll keep them washed off so you can do it. And sure enough, it did. And I got through. I didn't feel very good, but I got through doing the songs and everything. So,
is there any specific foods you avoid before doing a show or even voice acting? Because you know how sometimes, like, say, dairy, for example, can cause a lot of mucus
dairy
and phlegm. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't usually worry about that much. I don't have that much dairy. I know they say you're not supposed to have chocolate, but I swear chocolate helps me.
Oh, well, if it works, right?
I think chocolate coats my throat. At least that's what I tell myself that.
Oh, that's good.
I have friends too who think the same thing.
Yeah. Because I find if I have too much dairy, then my voice starts to get a bit
mucusy. Yeah. I know I get stuffy. I have allergies anyhow, so I have to be careful. But yeah, I don't eat that much dairy. But let's say if I would eat pizza or something with cheese and stuff, yeah, probably. That probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Right. So you're not self-conscious in the fact that, say, if you had a voice role to do the following day, that you'd be watching what you're eating, say, the day before or the night before?
Not usually. Usually I've never been bothered by anything. So that's probably why. Mostly my allergies are the thing that bother me.
Right. Is it like pollen and things? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose particularly during spring?
Well, I get it since in April, and then it seems like in the fall. And when there's ozone too, like pollution, that really bugs me. And it's like nothing helps that. Allergy medicine doesn't seem to help with the pollution. So yeah,
because what happens if you do lose your voice? Like, you can't record. So what do you do for Funimation and be like, hey, my voice is gone, I can't?
Yeah, people, if they lose their voices, that's just what they have to do.
That's just what happens. And I'd imagine usually it's not for a day. I mean, if you have something like bronchitis or something, yeah, it can be a couple of days.
Yeah, one time I got, it was when I was singing a lot, and I got something that I lost my voice completely, and I had a theatrical show to do then too, and I went to the doctor. I only had one left to do, and he said, I'll give you a steroid shot, and that'll get you through, and it did.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He said, but you can't get these all the time. He goes, this will work. He goes, and then tomorrow I want you to take it easy again. But it got me through a whole show. So
okay.
Yeah. So there are things in emergencies.
Okay, so there are. Okay, well, I can consider that as well.
Yeah, like the steroid shot.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's no infection, like I said, the lemon juice will get the gook off your vocal cords. So.
Yeah, well, this is all handy stuff that I can use as well. So thanks.
Yeah, and salt water is always good for your throat too.
Yeah, it is,
because that takes the inflammation away.
That's
Not
right.
just an old wives' tale. It really works.
Yeah. So when you're voice acting, because you said before that in those days they didn't give you scripts in
Oh yes, they
advance.
gave it. No, not in advance. I don't
Right.
think even now people get scripts in advance.
So do you have to memorize the script, or do you
Oh
just go in and then you read off it?
well, you did read off it. Now they have in the new studio, they have everything on screen. The script is up on screen, and the picture, so they're right near each other.
Oh,
So it's
right.
much
Okay.
easier instead of having to look down.
Yeah,
Because before we had to look.
because I
You had to
imagine
look down and memorize it. You did have to look down and kind of memorize it. Yeah.
yeah, because the mic
Yeah.
would be like here, wouldn't it? And if you're
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
down, then
You
it
had
muffles
to.
the voice. Yeah.
Yep. You had to kind of memorize it and then look up. And I'm sure that's another reason it went to line,
Yeah.
to memorize. Now they have the script is right there, so you can, it's easier that way.
Yeah, because do you have to repeat the same lines over and over? Like, how many times would you have to do the same line? For
Oh,
example?
it depends. I mean, sometimes maybe just once, sometimes maybe 5 or 6 times. If once in a while there's a line you just keep messing up.
Is it one of those? Is it one of those things that if you mess up a line, you become self-conscious of the fact that you're messing up the line, and then you keep messing up the line?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think with me sometimes on a word, if I stumble on a word, it like gets into your brain to stumble again, or your brain's going, "Don't stumble," and sure enough,
And then you
there
end up
comes that
stumbling.
word. But
Yeah.
and then sometimes they'll have you do it with different inflections so that they can choose which line they want to use too.
Yeah, because that's a point, something that I just thought of. So because with Frieza, obviously, Frieza goes through so many transformations, and then your voice altered quite a bit between each transformation as well.
Yes.
So because I think, like, say with Frieza's second form, you went a bit like lower, didn't you?
Yes. And then they echoed me on one of them, echoed and lowered my voice on one of them.
Yeah, I think in the original dub,
huge...
with the alien type form where it almost seemed like you had dual voices. I was actually going to ask, like, did you record the same voice twice? One with the normal inflection and the... Oh, okay.
I think they did it without lowered it and echoed my voice or something like that.
Okay, because I always thought that you recorded it twice, one with the normal inflection and then one with a lower inflection, but I guess the brilliance of technology.
I don't know. Maybe they had me do the line twice and they did that. I don't know.
So did they give you much direction in terms of, would say Frieza's second form, how they wanted it to be? Did they just say, "Oh, we want it to be lower," or did you naturally come up with that yourself, the deeper inflection?
They gave me directions on how to do, Frieza.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were they direct. They're pretty good at directing over there. They'll help you out. Even when I come in to do a little part or something, they'll tell me exactly what's going on, and they'll let me try any voice I want to do, and then they'll say, yeah, they like it, or try something else. Try it raspier, try it higher, try it lower. They'll tell you all these things. With Frieza, though, since I was imitating the other lady's voice, I let them direct me completely, and kept that voice that I was supposed to keep. I couldn't really add my own voice. I couldn't change anything except the inflections and stuff, and making Frieza be kind of evil witty, and things like that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, they were good at directing.
So what's some of the direction would they just be like raspier, or would they give you like a full breakdown of what exactly they wanted you to do?
Sometimes they give me a full breakdown, and sometimes they go, that line's fine, just speed it up a little, or just take that word down instead of up, or something like that. And sometimes they would be very specific on how a line should sound. Like sometimes they'd even say it, especially if it was something I wasn't doing evil enough or something.
So they would imitate you doing the Frieza voice.
Sometimes, or just do it in their voice. But you know what I mean?
So then would you practice it with the director or audio director? Is it an audio director, I suppose?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, off tape. And then you guys would practice it a couple of times.
No, it was just during when you were recording.
Right.
They'll just give you the direction during the recording, and then you'll just try the line again. And sometimes they'll change the line, change the wording because the wording just doesn't come out right. So they'll change the wording on the spot. And so it sounds more natural,
Because what's the key with voice acting? Is it just the enunciation? Like, is that the big part of voice acting? Like when you have to, because I know, like, say with radio, because I did some radio.
Oh, radio, yeah.
Yeah. Like if you're doing like a radio advert, they tell you to over enunciate everything.
Yes.
With radio. Yeah.
Yes. With voice acting, I don't think it's always that. Yeah. Now, some characters might be, but not all characters. A lot of characters have to sound more natural, so they wouldn't be over enunciating. In fact, with Frieza over enunciated. So sometimes when I do other characters, they'll have to say, don't enunciate so much.
You have to dial it back.
I do. Yes. Because I was in radio too for a while, so I'm kind of used to that. So sometimes I see a script or something and I probably over enunciate.
Yeah. Because that's what I always thought. Because how much of a difference, because you did Barbara as well, would they get you to do Frieza one day and then maybe Barbara the next day, or would you alternate between the two during one day's work?
I don't think I don't even know if I did both of them on the same day ever. I don't think so. But I might have. But I think usually I just came in for Baba or came in for Frieza, or whichever character it was. Because, I don't think they did that to me.
Because with a series like that, was it like a day in, day out job, Monday to Friday, set time that you'd work on it?
When you're doing your saga or whatever, yeah. Because then it was, and it was really for all the time I did Frieza, there was a lot of work because there were all the games too.
Of course.
So really, it was a lot of work. And sometimes I would be in the booth for a long time, and I really felt like beat up with all that fighting. When I came out of there, I was like, oh man, I felt like I had a workout.
Yeah. Because you're standing the whole time too, aren't you?
Yeah, you can sit if you want.
Oh, you can. Okay. So I think whenever I've seen any behind the scenes footage of any voice acting recording, people are always standing.
Because I think a lot of people like to stand. I know I like to stand.
Do you use the body motions as well?
I don't as much, but I might kind of use them smaller, but I just still feel like, I don't know. I feel like I can have more energy maybe when I'm standing. Now my son, he does use everything he says, he kind of uses his body for it. That's how he said that's what helps him. But in my head, I try to think I'm really that character. That's how I seem to do my best, is just really think I'm them.
Yeah. Were there any particular scenes that you found hard to do? Like ones that took you quite a while to nail in terms of the voice acting? Or is there any particular scenes that struck a chord with you in terms of you really, really remember them quite vividly?
Well, I remember when Frieza was dying, but really didn't die.
Oh, right. So when Goku killed him on Namek.
Being so dramatic. I do remember that. That was kind of fun because Frieza was acting all dramatic and like Frieza was sorry and all this stuff, which was such a fake act. I remember that. And I guess I remember some of the lines, like, with the stupid monkey lines.
Yeah,
Always
yeah. Those are
monkeys.
iconic lines, obviously.
And like being the most powerful being in the universe, especially that one, because I kept saying, that's one line I kept doing wrong. I kept saying, I'm the most powerful being in the universe. I was saying bean, like a bean. B-E-A-N. And they let me try. Finally, someone said, you're saying bean instead of bean.
I'm surprised they picked that up because that's like quite subtle.
It is. But since I usually enunciate it, I'm sure it was.
Mm.
I don't know what I was saying, the most powerful being. So I think that's pretty funny.
Whenever I hear you say that now, I'm going to be thinking of this conversation every time I watch that.
Like a big green bean.
Yeah. So you mentioned with Frieza dying, did you know that he was not dead? Or did you think, okay, all right, that's the end. I'm not voicing any more episodes. Or did they tell you in advance? You're like, well, he's not actually
For some reason, I knew then that he was. Yeah, I knew that he wasn't dead yet. I'm not sure how, but I did. Maybe they did. They probably told me that I had more to do.
Hmm.
And it's like people die in there all the time and came back. So.
Yeah, well, true. That is a very valid point.
It was kind of the thing. So.
And you still had the Baba role even if you weren't doing Frieza. So
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Baba is fun. I still think she's funny. I like her.
Yeah, because you're still voicing Baba now, aren't you?
Yes.
Even on Super.
Oh, yes. Oh, jeez. Now that voice is just real easy on my voice. The voice of Baba.
Yeah.
I love doing that. She's so crazy. She's just kind of fun.
Was that the reason why you stopped doing Frieza from Dragon Ball Z Kai going forward? Was it just too hard on the voice?
No, they decided they wanted a man to do it.
Right.
Because I guess they kind of always wanted a man, but I guess at first, since it was a lady from Canada, there had to be a
seamless transition, I suppose. They wanted
but I
to
know
keep it
that
the
they
same.
did want it. Yeah. And then they did want a man because, the Japanese phrase is a man, of course, Mr. Nakayo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they wanted it a little more like that.
Okay. So that was the main reason.
And at first, when they told me,
were you devastated?
I was sort of mad at first. And because that's how my emotions came out. I wasn't really mad. I was hurt. And, but then after a while, I understood, I thought, well, yeah, they're taking it in a new direction. They're taking the whole show kind of in a different direction and they want a man. And Chris Ayres is so sweet and so nice. And, so it was fine. And it seemed like I started getting, after that, it seemed like I started getting a lot more singing work and stuff. And maybe it wouldn't have been good to be doing so much of that, so much singing at the same time. I don't know.
One door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, it all works out to the good.
Yeah.
And then all the cons and everything started coming up, and it's like, what? And
oh yeah, because you weren't really doing it while you were doing the show, were you?
I wasn't. I did one, and then I just didn't. No.
Yeah.
Other people were, and I had been asked a couple times. I just didn't. And then it's really fun now. Now I like them.
Yeah.
I do.
Because I think
like I'm the OG Frieza, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, that's right. You are. You're the OG.
And it's fun. It's fun.
Because you get flown around to a lot of different countries, I suppose, to do a lot of those anime type shows.
So far, I've only been to the UK. Hopefully, I'll get some other places. Like, I did no, that was online. But hopefully I'll get to some other places.
Yeah, well, I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can get you here.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. Obviously post-COVID, whenever that is. Who knows?
Yes, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so mostly I've just been around the United States.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And
then several right in the Dallas area. Like I said, the day signings, or they did for a while, these popped up, not private signings, where you just go to a store or somewhere and you just do a bunch of signings.
For how long?
You just sign a certain amount of stuff, actually. You sign a certain amount of stuff and they pay you for it. It's kind of cool.
Do you get some weird fan interactions, though? Because you know how some fans are so over the top, so overwhelming, you know?
Yeah, sometimes. But usually, I don't know. I've liked all the fans, even if they are kind of overwhelming, or even if they're, and of course, a lot are nerds, because, and nerds are so in right now. That's what I say. Nerds are so in. So,
nerds,
a nerd.
Yeah, nerds run the world.
That's right.
Yeah, they do. Elon Musk, look at him. He's a nerd.
Yeah, so I like him. And I love seeing him come in their cosplay and all that. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. I remember the first time, though, someone had that thing where it looks like your cheeks open and teeth are showing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they came up to me, and honestly, I didn't know if it was real or not. And I thought, what if it's real and they had some kind of problem or something, And then I found out, because it looked so real. And then I found out that it was, it's amazing how they can make things look so real on their faces.
Yeah, brilliant makeup artists around the world, eh? They can do some amazing stuff.
And it looks scary.
Yeah, and it messes with you psychologically sometimes. Like, you have to second guess yourself. I'm like, wait, is that real?
I was thinking like, oh, that poor person. Or
was the person in character though, or were they smiling while they had these teeth out the side, or did they look like
they were
really
smiling,
evil?
talking to me, just talking, normal talking.
Yeah. It would be quite distracting though, because they'd be trying to have a conversation with you, and you're like, I
know.
You got teeth on the side of your face.
You're trying not to look there, It's like the first time I saw someone with, now you see tattoos all the time and piercings, but I was in a comedy group years ago, and there's a place in the Dallas area called Deep Ellum.
Right.
And it's real artsy there and stuff, but our comedy show was in a restaurant down there. And we were going out and passing out flyers. And there was a guy that took some, and he had so many piercings everywhere and tattoos. And I was not really used to that.
Mm.
And I was trying, I didn't know where to look, But now you see so many people with tattoos and so many. But I say he trained me, so because I saw him then a while after that. So I got used to looking at tattoos and piercings. So then for cons, it was fine. I'm used to looking at them. Yeah,
that's true, though. If you think of when you're not exposed to a particular group that often, it can be quite a foreign concept to you, and
it
off of it when you first meet someone like that. So
it is at first.
So I imagine, with the type of audience that you deal with at Comic Cons and those comic type events, you'd meet such a wide range of people, I'm sure, from so many different backgrounds.
And they'll have tattoos of Dragonball Z and stuff, things like that. This one guy had a big tattoo of Frieza.
Has anyone had a tattoo of you?
Me, no. That would be really funny, huh?
Yeah. Do you still have anonymity though? Can you walk the street and people not stop you, or do you find you get?
I don't talk about it that much. In fact, there are people where I work out had no idea. People where I go to church had no idea. And then little by little, people start finding out,
Oh, right. Word of mouth.
And then they're like, what? It was so funny because our pastor's son went crazy when he knew that I was Frieza.
Really?
It was so funny. And then our bishop, his sons, he was visiting, and my husband said, I wonder if his sons know about Dragon Ball Z. And I go, oh, Tom, I doubt it. And then Tom goes and asks them, they go, what? So then we were talking for a long time because they knew Dragon Ball Z too. And it's almost like everywhere you go, someone knows about Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, yeah.
It becomes so, whoever knew it would become such a big thing.
Oh, it's so iconic worldwide, it's amazing, and it's still big. It
is amazing, actually.
Yeah.
It amazes me. It still amazes me, when all these fans come up, or it was really strange to me at first.
Yeah.
But,
But you still seem very grounded by it all.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Because is that part of the reason why you didn't want to tell anyone like that you voice Frieza in your inner circle? Because even I would imagine that you'd be worried that people would treat you different. Because you know how some people treat celebrities different, and
I don't know. I just never. It seems like almost any acting work and stuff, I don't really talk about. It seems like I just do my job and that's it. But now, if someone asks me about it, I'll talk with them and talk. And but I don't know why I really don't talk about it. I don't. I've had friends that are actors that have said, Linda, you need to talk about yourself more. I don't know. I'm just not that way. I'm not good at it. And some people can talk about themselves, and it's real interesting and it's fine. But then there's people that can't really talk about themselves that good, and it doesn't come out right if you try to talk about yourself if you don't really feel like talking about yourself. Now, people ask me about the character or what you did, and that's different because I'm talking about all different things, So,
has your pastor at your church ever asked you to, talk about it at like a youth group or something?
No, but I did. I ended up giving photos and autographs to a lot of the kids and stuff, and his kids, and I don't know. They know I don't even talk about it that much.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've never asked me. I would, though. It would be fun. I'd even do a little workshop.
Yeah. So what do you do? So when you're talking about things, obviously if you're not talking about work and about Frieza, which is probably a good thing because then you'd probably get over talking about it if you had to talk about it 24/7. So what do you talk to people about usually?
You mean at cons?
Oh, just in general. So if you don't talk about Frieza in your work.
I don't know, just normal things.
Singing? You talk about singing?
Yeah, just whatever, families, and I don't know. Whatever they ask me, whatever we have a conversation about. I don't know.
Because you mentioned
working out. I love working out.
You go to the gym a lot?
Working out. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like working out. I like health. Music.
Can you play any instruments?
Well, I used to play the piano all the time, and then I did more singing. But recently, I've been starting to play the keyboard a little again. Since this pandemic, just kind of sitting down and playing it once in a while.
Yeah.
So,
because are you having to spend more and more time, I suppose, indoors due to this ever-evolving situation?
I know. Of course, I go out with my dogs, take them for walks every morning. And my family, we always have a dinner or a lunch and outside one of our houses. Because everyone's still very keeping our distance because it was still kind of bad around here,
Yeah.
I hate my grandson. I hate that I can see him and, kind of play with them, but not like we usually do.
Because I've heard there's a bit of a mass exodus from California to Texas in terms of people moving there more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Have you noticed
know.
it?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have friends that have moved back, from California. And
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess because it's not as expensive here. That's probably one reason.
Yeah.
Because California is really expensive.
Because don't you pay more tax in California than you do in
Yes.
Texas? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
And house, everything's more expensive in California. And I think people that are there, especially when they're getting older, if they want to think about later when they're going to retire, even if they're actors, whatever, they'd rather be here because they could afford it more.
Yeah, yeah. Because Funimation's based in Dallas, isn't it?
It's Flower Mound, but it's near Dallas. Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't take you that long to get to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have other little studios now too.
I'll do that.
Yeah. They have a studio called Sound Cadence and Starman, and they're all starting to do anime. They all do some anime. In fact, I had an audition this week where they're going to actually bring people back into the studio at one of them. Not at Funimation. I don't think they are at Funimation yet. There might have been a few people, but most people I know that have done anything have done it from home.
Because has the work environment at Funimation changed a lot over the years from when it originally started? Because from what I understand is when Funimation was first working on the series, it was kind of new to them, right? And obviously they've been doing it.
It was a little tiny, it was a studio on top of a bank building. Just very
really?
little. Yeah, just very little. Little sound booth. Yeah, they had a little editing room, a little this, that. And now it's huge. They have so many different studios and the whole business building and the studios are nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know with the series they stick more to the Japanese roots now, right? They try to carry on a lot from the Japanese dub to the English dub, whereas opposed to the old days where they would try and Americanize everything or Westernize a lot of the from the voice acting to even the music. I mean, obviously, I had the composers on. Yeah. So it's that's why I was interested in knowing how much the environment has changed.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They have the music is different now.
But the fundamentals of how you record is still pretty much the same. Would you ever have, like, say, Sean Schemmel? Would he ever be opposite you while you're recording?
Oh, no. You're just always by yourself.
Always by yourself. So they wouldn't
always by yourself.
Okay.
So that's why you had to really act, because you don't have anyone acting with you,
There's no one to feed off, no energy to gather from another actor.
No, unless someone recorded before you, then you can hear what they're doing. But no, you don't. That's the one thing that's different. Really,
I imagine that would be a mission for the engineers then, because obviously, when say that fight was between Goku and Frieza, I mean that goes on for a long time, so many episodes, but it looks seamless on screen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I always thought that, yes, you guys recorded differently or at different times, but you might have been in the same booth, like maybe two different microphones, and then maybe he'd just try and act out to try and give you the energy for you to feed off to play the character.
That would be that probably would have given energy, but no.
Well, that's even more impressive for you then, that you had to kind of channel that from nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. But that's why it was so important to just picture yourself as that character. And you had to picture, I mean, you could see them on the picture, but you couldn't really hear them. Unless, like I said, they recorded before you. But I can't remember if at first we could even hear them. I know now you can hear anyone that's recorded in a scene, as long as they've recorded first.
Right.
So if you record last, you could hear a lot. If you record first, you're not going to hear anyone.
Yeah. So was that throughout the whole series or the original dub?
Yeah.
Because there were two versions, wasn't there? There was the original dub, and then they went back and then they redid the Saiyan and the Namek saga with, say, your character, and then they did it again with Kai. But between those two first versions, was there much redubbing that you had to do, or were you just pretty much just doing the Namek and like the Namek saga before? But anything part like Ginyu, they just kept, or did you have to redub anything?
I think I did have to redub. Yeah.
Was it a lot or just small little things here and there?
I think it was a lot.
Really?
I think so.
Did they state the reasons as to why you had to redub it?
You know what was that? What was that one called where we did it? I can't remember.
Because I think it was the one for DVDs, I think, when they went back, because obviously the original Ocean dub.
Oh, the DVDs. Yeah, we did a lot of redoing it.
Because the Ocean dub was, I think, the Saiyan saga and the Namek saga, and then Funimation kind of went in-house, I think, from the Ginyu saga onwards. And then I think after Boo, they went back and they redid the Saiyan and Namek saga.
I remember doing some things over. I do remember doing some things over again.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember. It was so many years ago.
Yeah, of course. Sure I imagine so.
I'm pretty sure I had to do a lot of it over again.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
But I imagine by that time you probably would have forgotten that you did the
right
what probably, you did originally. Yeah,
probably didn't certain line. Yeah, probably didn't do the same certain lines because they stick in your head, you know. Or sometimes I'd be doing a scene and all of a sudden I could hear it like I used to do it, you know, like I did it before. It just depends. Sometimes I probably wouldn't even remember.
How good's your memory?
You mean at memorizing things?
Yeah, yeah.
At memorizing things, I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes at remembering, like after I memorize it, Liam, and then I don't remember. Once I'm done, it's like I don't remember.
Oh, so your short-term memory is better than your long-term memory.
Yeah. I think with work, a lot of times I would just do my stuff and then just exit it out of my brain because I didn't need it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it the same process? Because obviously you've worked on a number of other animes or TV shows. Is it the same process when you're recording for those as well? Or is it different from show to show? Or is the process largely the same?
You mean for all the anime? Like
yeah. So when you're recording your lines, is it the same process? Is it the same team you work with? Because obviously Funimation covers so many different areas, but do they allocate one person per particular show?
What do you mean? Do they?
So say like if you had an audio director, is it the same audio director or a different director that's directing you?
Yeah, they have the directors, and for certain shows, they take that whole show.
Right.
They have, in fact, in the different studios, it'll say the name of the director, the audio director. And they have that show that's theirs.
Okay. So do you still have to audition much, or are people like, Linda Young, we know her? Give the role to her.
When like last year, when I could go in the studio, they would just call me in for I played a lot of little parts. Like one I had so much fun was a show called Double Decker, and it was a landlady, and she was so crazy. I love that. But they would just call me in for, like crazy old ladies or little nice grandmas or, all those type roles. But this year, like I said, there's been nothing since the COVID.
Yeah. So does your email get flooded with people requesting signatures or voiceovers or little recording messages?
No. I mean, I have, like on Facebook, there's a lot of people that are fans on there, but no, they don't. And sometimes I get fan mail. I don't know how they find my house,
Fan
but they
mail.
find it. And if I do get it and they send something to have signed, then I usually sign it. As long as it wouldn't end up being tons of stuff all the time.
Yeah. Because you don't get stacks and stacks of fan mail, do you?
No.
Yeah, that would just be overwhelming, and you wouldn't be able to respond to every single one either.
No, I wouldn't.
I do wonder how some fans manage to find the address of, the
I don't know.
people that they're obsessing over.
You figured they took that much time to find it, and it's usually been, someone younger, and they have a cute little letter they write. Can't resist that. I remember the first one I got was so cute. Oh, my first fan letter.
You're like, yes. Did you frame it?
No, but I have it.
Oh, you still got it?
I do.
Does the person know who sent it to you, that they were the very first fan mail that they sent to you?
No, probably not. And they're probably a lot older now. Yeah.
You should tell them. They'd probably be like, oh my God.
I know. I should look up I have the letters. I should look at the name, and then I can say it sometime on one of these podcasts. Say their name.
For sure.
It's like when I got on Cameo. Someone hired me to do it, and I said, "You're my first fan." And he said, "Oh wow." He thought that was neat that I did the cameo for him. The first cameo I did was for him.
Well, it's being first is always the best.
Yeah.
And that gives you bragging rights as well, I think.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people like, I think, even if it's a first comment on a video or something.
Does.
Yeah, they're like, I'm the first.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it does.
Yeah. So is there anything in your career that you haven't done that you still want to do?
Well, I really do like the voice work. I hope I'll be able to do more.
Is there a particular show you're not on that you'd like to be on or do some voice acting work for?
I think I'd love sometime to do something really family-like Disney or something like that. That would be so cool.
Yeah, well, they're the big company at the moment, aren't they? Yeah. So more of the animated stuff?
Yeah, that would be neat.
Yeah? You wouldn't want to be in Star Wars or some of the Marvel movies?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd love being in films. I mean, I've only had little parts in films, but sure, I'd love that.
Because how would you be an advocate to get to those sort of roles? Because I imagine those big corporates are all based in LA.
Yes,
and you probably have to go through someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who's connected to the big cheese.
Oh yeah, if you did, you could be lucky that way, or you just have to live in LA or live in New York.
Yeah,
really go after things, And
have you spent any type of any time in LA and New York, like a substantial amount of time?
When I was younger for a while, I thought I was going to move to New York maybe. And then I got married and had kids instead. I'm really glad I did because I love my kids.
Yeah.
They're so, I couldn't imagine not having my kid, So I know I made the right choice there. And then I still ended up doing a lot of things, even though I raised them and And then John does things too, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool that he's now working for Funimation. He's doing voice acting work. He's kind of carrying on what you started.
Then my daughter's a smart one. She has a 9-to-5 job. She works in medical, and she loves rock climbing and outdoor activities, so she can always get time off to do all the stuff she loves. She travels. She's pretty awesome too.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, I think I might wrap up there. This has been amazing, Linda. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
I hope everything just really works out in terms of this COVID thing. I mean, I don't know when this vaccine's coming over and some normality can return for you guys. We don't really notice it here because everything's just normal because we don't really have any community cases. So,
oh wow, really?
Yeah, we've basically anyone who flies here gets quarantined at the border, so it's not actually within the community at all. So there's normal events and everything. I think we're doing one of those kind of Comic-Con type events. It's called Armageddon here.
Wow.
But I think a lot of it's online, maybe due to because we did have a lockdown earlier in the year and maybe the event managers didn't know what was going to happen, so they didn't want to risk booking all the stuff with guests and then them not being able to come over. And if anyone comes into the country, they have to quarantine anyway for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I know a few people, so I'll see if I can. That would be fun. Yeah, when there's another one of these events, I'll see if I can be like, hey, get Linda Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, free flight to another country.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
My son too.
Yeah, both of you. Put you up in a hotel. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good fun.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. So do you have any social media where people can follow you? Or are you not into all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I guess it's just at Linda Young VA.
Yeah.
And I'm on Facebook. And I'm on Instagram. It's Linda Sorta on Instagram.
Linda Sorta.
Yeah, because there's a group I am in called the Sorta Sisters.
Oh, right.
So,
okay.
Yeah. And then Facebook's just me, Linda Young.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's pretty much it.
But I got on Twitter just this year. I got on Twitter.
Did you?
Yeah. Probably during, everything going on. Everyone's like, you're supposed to be on Twitter. You should get on Twitter. And do you know who Bruce Elliott is?
I've heard the name.
Actor.
Yes.
He's older too. He's like, you got to get on Twitter. I go, well, I guess if you got on, I can get on. He goes, yeah, if I could get on it, anyone can do it.
Yeah, well, it's pretty straightforward.
It is.
And I imagine with your following, you'd have a lot of very happy, positive people. I think there's just some aspects of social media that it can be quite negative.
I know. And a lot of people say Twitter can be a lot.
Yeah.
But so far, it's been, I've had mostly nice things on Twitter. So.
That's good. I imagine you will. Everyone loves you, Linda.
They don't know me.
Before you go, do you mind just saying a line in Frieza's voice?
Sure. What do you want me to say? Got a favorite one?
Just say thank you for listening to Kiwi Talks. It's pretty easy.
Thank you for listening to Kiwi Talk. It's my favorite podcast.
Legendary. You still got it, Linda. Still got it. Even after.
Oh, thank you.
That reminds me. Has anyone made any fan-made Dragon Ball Z games that they want you to voice?
No. Well, no one's asked me.
I may have planted the seed there. Someone might be like,
yeah. It seems like. I mean, no one's actually asked me.
Have you seen, because there's a couple of clips online, because I've seen it. So they've done it, obviously, with the Scott Morgan, Mike Smith, and Julius DeBosch, but with the music that they did for Dragon Ball Z, some people have taken that and they've put that as the music for Dragon Ball Super. But they've actually done the same thing with you in regards to certain scenes as Frieza.
I did see that.
Yeah.
My voice in the Super.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone sent me that. I thought that was pretty funny. It looked pretty cool.
It did look cool. It was awesome.
I'm Golden Frieza.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's some dedicated fans out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody, dubbed the whole series in your voice or imitated your Frieza voice and did it. Fans are dedicated.
Yeah, they are. That one, those guys that do those funny dubs of Dragon Ball
is
Z.
that what is it? Dragon Ball? Is it Dragon Ball Abridged? I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I've seen a few of those, and they're funny. Some people I don't think like it.
They just need to get a sense of humor.
They do.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty funny. I like it.
Cool, Linda. Hey, thank you so much again. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. I am planning to get over to Dallas at some point post-COVID.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So my partner's Indian, and she's got a lot of family in the States. One of the perks of being with an Indian is they have family everywhere. So
you get to go.
Yeah. So free accommodation at a lot of different places. So we are probably planning to get there. We were actually supposed to go this year, but obviously due to COVID, that's not happening. So at some point I'll be in the area. So yeah, I'll have to buy you lunch or something.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep in touch.
Yeah, likewise, and stay safe.
Yeah.
Stay away from sick people.
Yeah. They try to.
Yeah, people need
to.
You
never know. You don't know who's really sick unless they're coughing a lot.
Yeah, well, that's right. There's asymptomatic people, isn't there?
Like right in the Dallas area, people have been being pretty good. Wearing their masks and keeping distance. But
all right. Well, it seems like her internet connection has cut out. So that is the end of the show, everyone. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and stay safe until next time. See ya.